Welcome back. You're still tuned in to News and Views with myself, Salino Makudir. The time is 20 minutes past 8, and we'll be kickstarting the show by turning our attention to the ANC's Sedibeng region. They're fresh from their 16th regional conference that the ANC says was both disciplined and decisive, setting out a roadmap for economic renewal in the region. And in a region that has struggled under the weight of industrial decline, unemployment, and years of uneven service delivery. And there's a new leadership, a collective leadership that has been elected, and with it comes renewed promises. Revitalizing the VAL economy, stabilizing governance, and rebuilding communities through inclusive growth. But residents will ask, what will be different this time around and how fast will change actually come? And joining us now is the newly elected regional deputy secretary of the ANC in Sedibeng, Mamohale Moloi. Mamohale, assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah so much for joining us. And congratulations on being the newly minted deputy secretary of the ANC in Sedibeng.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shukran so much for inviting me to join you on Salam Media, and thank you to those branches that had that confidence in us as an RSC collective that we should take on the baton from the previous leadership. Shukran.
I think let's jump right into it. I want to focus first on the conference outcomes versus real change on the ground for the people of Sedibeng. I was doing a bit of research, and your conference theme spoke about building people's power and reviving the regional economy. In real terms, for someone in Sebokeng right now, or someone who's in Vereeniging, who's been hearing promises for years now, what will change within the next 12 months looking at this new leadership of the African National Congress in the region?
Thank you so much. I think the first thing that we should take cognizance of is that the people that are in leadership currently in Sedibeng, most of them are within the local municipalities to start with. But also when we went towards the regional conference, there was we had we took a survey wherein we asked the people of Sedibeng what is it that they want. Not that we didn't know of it, but we knew, but it had to be a quantitative survey where people spoke about their concerns, because you could be sitting there as leaders thinking that, we do have this thing of service delivery intact and this is what we want to do, but it's up until you go down to the ground to go and ask people exactly. And with that, this is where we then derived the theme of the conference, as you correctly say, building people's power towards a capable, inclusive Vaal River economy. As we know that previously, Sedibeng, now we call it Sedibeng, but it used to be the Vaal. The Vaal was an industrial hub, of South Africa. But then what we did was, when we were at conference, we had 5 clear commissions, and these commissions, all of them were centered about what services is it that we are bringing as the ANC leadership in Sedibeng, that whatever we are doing, we need to bring community confidence based on our resolutions. There are resolutions that have been taken, and the resolutions are going to be translated into a program of action. Those that were able to follow, you could have heard when our regional chairperson closed the conference, was that translating the resolutions into program of action, not only just as a talk show. But what we do is that, the most important is to have honest and transparent communication, with your communities, in terms of what is it that you have promised and what you have, regular feedback sessions, to be able to communicate with them. There are, when you talk, there are always clear wins, low-hanging fruits. Like I said, that we had conducted a survey before. We know what are the low-hanging fruits that are there, and these are the matters that we need to tackle quickly. We currently have been having, even before going to conference, that we are just going to amplify a service delivery war room that is headed by the chairperson and a number of us. So it has been gaining momentum, and I think one of the most important things is inclusive participation of everybody, because what we have, it's not only, they talk about women and youth participation, but we need to ensure now that we are going to make sure that when we do our program, when we implement our program, when it comes to the monitoring and the design of the programs, we don't only do them as the REC collective, but we go and ensure that the communities are there and we give them a chance to conduct oversight, establishing oversight committees as an REC collective. This is what we are going to be doing, but we're not only doing it because we'll be thinking about this is what we want to do. The conference, the branches, conference includes 90%. It is made up of 90% of branches. This is the mandate that we have been sent by the branches. They gave us specific mandates. And what we need to be doing, we're not going to be doing anything from the top of our heads. What we'll be doing is just to go on those resolutions and ensure that we implement. And the most important thing is to make communities feel that they are part of anything that happens. It's not just us about them. And there are a number of transformative things that you can do towards the what you call it, the constituents. We're looking at getting investors. You need to empower communities to feel that they are part of us, they are partners, and that they are not spectators. So there's just a lot, there's a lot. What I can say is that the conference was not an elective conference. So they have given us a mandate. What you have asked, I can expatiate. There's just a lot. There are resolutions that have been clearly taken to ensure that this is what we champion. There's just a lot. I mean, when matters of economy, if I can talk about matters of economy, you speak about how do we revitalize our region's economy, which was once the industrial hub, like I said, and what we're looking at mostly now is that Sedibeng is what do you call it, Gauteng's food basket. And one of the main things that you need to do, that since we have sort of moved away from that industrial hub, how do we ensure that this maize belt, we grow this maize belt that we have in Sedibeng. And also we've got the benefit of having the Vaal River, and we want to ensure that this Vaal River economy, it's an all year round tourism economy. So there's just a lot that we can do, that we are going to be doing. It's not about talk shop. This is the most important thing that I can say. It's not about talk shop. It's the mandates that the branches have given us, which are resolutions that are going to be tracked. Yes.
I want to focus on, excuse me, internal discipline and unity within the ANC structures in Sedibeng. The ANC praised the conference for discipline and unity, but yet we can all agree that there's been issues around factionality within the ANC in the region. How does this new leadership plan to, deal with that, to deal with what has crippled the ANC in a lot of regions, the issues of factions and infighting within the organization itself? Mamohale, are you still there? All right. right, we seem to have lost Mamohale Fatimah Moloi, Deputy Secretary of Sedibeng. Well, newly, excuse me, newly minted Deputy Secretary of Sedibeng. I think we're going to take a quick break to see if we can get her back. But if we can't, we're going to have to move on. So, a quick break, news and views. We'll continue after this.
is Salam Media.
You South African, of course. You anxious about the future. We've got you covered. Build on your wealth portfolio with Randry Jewelers Gold Coin Exchange. Visit us at 151 Stephen Dlamini Road, Musgrave, Durban, or call us on 031-202-4700 for more information. Randry Jewelers Gold Coin Exchange, your passport to gold investment.
When disaster strikes, families lose everything in an instant. Homes destroyed, communities displaced. Hope fades into uncertainty. Our Global Emergency Fund ensures we respond without delay, delivering food, water, shelter, and healthcare to families in need. To support our Global Emergency Fund, visit islamicrelief.org.za.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda.
Conversation with Sedibeng's new Deputy Secretary, Mamohale Fatimah Moloi. Mamohale, before we lost you there for a moment, I wanted to touch on a very, very important question. The issue of internal discipline and unity within the ANC structures in your region. The ANC has praised the conference for discipline and for unity, but yet unity often hides factional tensions that we all know exist. How united is Sedibeng really? And are you confident that this leadership can avoid the infighting that's crippled many other regions of the ANC?
Thank you so much. Apologies for that glitch a bit. The ANC is united. The ANC is united. I think one of the main things that we need to remember is that whatever I, as an individual, outside of any other thing, if I cause havoc, it should not be viewed as the ANC. It's us members of the ANC. But when it comes to the unity, throughout the theme of the conference, and like you say, that when it comes to the national and province, that this conference, it was based on unity. And what we should be having is stability first and cohesion within the ANC. At the moment, when you go towards conference, you ordinarily would have members of the ANC that would not necessarily be supporting whatever slate that there is. Even though when we went to conference, our conference, we were elected unopposed. But coming back, it does not mean that there were comrades that were not contesting us. So what we need to be doing now with as an RSC collective is that individually, those of us, we need to remember as a collective that we need to champion this stability and cohesion. And our common goal is to serve the people of Sedibeng. And we need to remember that as ANC members, membership, our number is very low. and we get voted by people who have confidence in us. And it is upon us to be able to champion and ensure that we protect this organization. And what we need to be doing is that remember that it's all about the constituents that we serve. So first, with the stability and cohesion of the REC collective, it's the most important. When the regional secretary outlined the organizational report from the previous term, the first one that I would start with is that as a collective of the REC, our unity starts here first before we go out. One thing that he indicated that I just want to bring to people that might not have been, in fact, it was a closed session, to say that when executive, you've got subcommittees. So when you have subcommittees, you find that there are a number of subcommittees. But then for us now, what we have resolved in conference, as guided by the regional secretary, is that to bring this thing of unity, inclusivity, and cohesion is to merge the subcommittees based on what the national and province have been doing. So the unity, it's going to start with us as a REC collective first, wherein you'll find that instead of being one chairperson having 20 chairpersons, you would find that there is a collective that take charge of let me say, as an example, governance. It would be, yes, there would be someone that champions it, then there would be others that would be anchors to that. This is where the unity also starts, before we even go out to say that let us go and fix other members. But it is very important that we need to go out there and talk to our comrades. It is very important, but we do believe also going towards the conference and also after the conference, but that Sedibeng is united. We have proven over the years that Sedibeng is united, but factionalism is something that happens. We are told, it's something that I think some of us, I don't want to say, yes, some of us still need to internalize that towards conferences, there is something that is called lobby groups. And once conference set and the branches have decided, we need to leave factionalism aside. And what we need to be doing is to strengthen discipline. And by doing that, the first thing is to ensure that the organizational culture is maintained, particularly reminding people, like I initially said, that it's not about us, it's about the constituents that we serve, to say that we are here to serve the people of Sedibeng. It's not about our individual egos. And another one, there should be clear disciplinary processes, because we as comrades, we undertake other tendencies that are not organizational, and we are, when it comes to attending to misconduct, we don't do that. So it's one of the things that we need to be doing, to have a regional disciplinary committee to deal with the misconduct, because, and ensuring that, the hearings are transparent, because we have been giving a mandate when we're also in conference that there should be, disciplinary measures that do take place. But however, one of the most important things that I think when it comes to perceived factionalism, it's conflict resolution. Sometimes these things just need a person who just can go there and mediate. How do we ensure that we resolve minor issues and disputes, and how does one champion being a mediator? But fortunately in our region, they always say that you get guided by elders. We do have the Veterans League that we can always get counsel from, that they could guide and be that mediator in, so that we can be able to curb, for a lack of a better word, to be able to curb factionalism, which should have stopped when we were, going towards conference after conference, because it, what can I say? It's lobby groups, but we tend to call them factionalism. And unfortunately, I must be honest with you, Slalo, other people don't go out of that lobby group mentality, which ends up into being factionalism and not embracing new leadership. It happens throughout, and I would not mention anywhere, but for us is to ensure that we encourage our members, that we instill the discipline, and regardless of people's choices towards conference, let us embrace each other and remember, like I said, it is all about our glorious movement. And the most important is to ensure that with the municipalities that we have, we ensure that there is service delivery to the people of Sedibeng. That is the most important thing.
There we go, Mamohale, Fatimah, Moloi. Thank you so much for chatting to us. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. Would have really liked to continue with the conversation, but since you're the new Deputy Secretary General, I'm pretty sure we'll be speaking a lot of times. Really appreciate it, and congratulations again.
We'll do that. Thank you so much. Shukran.
There we go. News and views. We'll be back after this short break.